Yet another month has passed us by. Let's review some March 2026 comebacks.
It's my opinion! Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
Code by EVERGLOW. It feels so odd to only see 4 members left of EVERGLOW because I was into them since debut with Bonbon Chocolat. I do like this song Code. Aisha always stood out to me, so it's nice that she's still in the lineup. I feel the same way about Xion, and her beauty has stood out to me since the debut era. Side note, who else remembers this then viral fan cam of her with the cute plushie hat? Just me. This isn't shade, but just my honest opinion. But I will admit, it is nice to not just mainly hear Maya anymore, since she's not in the group now. She is a good singer, but was given so many of the lines in prior songs, it was kind of crazy. Onda and EU were able to shine in a way not possible in the original lineup, due to how weirdly distributed screen time and lines used to be. EVERGLOW is great at this type of baddie concept, so it feels like a natural return for them rather than a forced image. I enjoyed the music video and wish the girls a good future, but I do think EVERGLOW's future as a group won't be too momentous, to tell you the truth. Some groups just don't get as big as others, and that doesn't mean they weren't as talented. It just means not as popular. But yeah, it's really nice anytime EVERGLOW has a comeback, because I still remember their debut like it was yesterday, so I'm quite fond of them. An 8 out of 10 seems reasonable for this song. To My First Love by HiKey. HiKey seems to be doing well with the sort of anime intro inspired sound. I like it for them. I feel like they've explored different sounds enough, with their debut Athletic Girl sounding very different than their newer releases. I find this song to be enjoyable and cute, very youthful, very high school anime love story. It just has that particular energy to it. I will say that their B-side on their recent EP, Love Chapter, with the song being called Be Full of Romantic, I'm not sure if they meant be full of romance or if this really was intentional. Well, that song anyways is more my style, while still remaining similar to My First Love. This group has figured out what sound works for them, and it seems to suit them well. 8.7 out of 10. Tweak by Girlset. From hearing the beginning instrumental during the teasers, I immediately recognized that it was sampling Weak by SWV. Please check that song out if you aren't familiar. It's so good and the vocals are killer. Anyways, the vocals are amazing for Tweak. Camilla's singing in particular stood out to me in this song. It's so beautiful and I love that deeper tone to it. I like the styling overall, but having entire cheeks out is getting to be too commonplace, to be honest. Remember guys, if this upsets you that I'm calling that out, I'm a Christian and I can't just do whatever I want anymore. So the old me would have seen nothing wrong with this, but the me now, I find it weird to have such young girls have their entire ass out. Just saying. Also, is it that necessary to have a woman on a stripper pole in a bikini in the video being so exposed? I don't know. It just feels like in order to be in a global girl group, you have to be okay with the sex sells narrative that is much more rampant here compared to South Korea. I also found it weird to have a group of little girls in ballet outfits shown in the video. I get that this was likely trying to represent the 4 girls in their younger years, but think about it. Do we really need children to be shown in the same music video with full ass cheeks out and a woman in a bikini twirling around on a stripper pole with her legs entirely open? Like, do you see what I mean? If you want to have such a provocative image for the group, for this music video in particular, then don't show kids in it. It's that simple. Getting back to the music sound, I think Camilla owned Tweak era, but Lexi owned their last era of Little Miss. The song is catchy and they sound great, like I said, but I'd rather listen to Weak by SWV if I had to choose between the two. I will admit, this is the sound that Cat's Eye should be going for rather than whatever Gnarly was. Lara and Sophia's vocals would especially slay if they did Tweak, even as a cover. Just a thought. Tweak gets a 9.2 out of 10. Sugar Talk by Yeojin. Naturally, I try my best to keep up with the various members of LUNA since the 12 of them are off doing their own thing, either in solo projects or in smaller groups. Yeojin's song, Sugar Talk, is definitely cute and fitting for the beginning of springtime. But for someone to say that this is Song of the Year material, like they're saying in the comments, that's going overkill in my opinion. It's alright, but it doesn't stick with me that much, and overall, I just feel neutral towards the song after a couple listens. I do enjoy the R&B influence and the chill vibes, but personally, this seems like a song that is more fun to sing rather than listen to. 8.2 out of 10. Catch Catch by YENA. Just from the promotion on YouTube Shorts leading up to this song's release, I knew I'd love it. YENA is a fantastic soloist. The outfits and the overall auto-tune sound is very reminiscent of second-gen K-pop, specifically Tiara, with the song Roly Poly that YENA directly mentions by doing their choreography, at least in some of the YouTube shorts I've seen. And I'm also reminded of the after-school subunit Orange Caramel, which is just so nice. I'm openly a sucker for the cute K-pop sound, so of course I adore this. The chorus is repetitive, but it makes me want to dance and smile, so I adore it anyways. Sometimes repetitive can be good. I actually enjoyed the music video a lot too, and I'm pretty picky about music videos. This is one of the best songs of March, if not the best. Definitely not Song of the Year material for me compared to January's comebacks, but it's still extremely enjoyable. Any K-pop song that makes me feel happy is deemed good in my book. 9.8 out of 10. Butterfly Doors by AtHeart. Immediately, I really appreciated how different this was from the sound of Shut Up that they released late in February. I like watching AtHeart doing choreography, and the group members seem to be happiest when the dances are more complicated rather than simple. I also liked the red and black outfits they were styled into. I think this vibe fits them better than Shut Up. However, at first listen, I don't see Butterfly Doors being the type of song to get stuck in my head. However, it is enjoyable watching them dance, and their vocal tones are quite smooth. I'm not a huge fan of this group, but I do like keeping up with them. I think as they continue, they'll figure out their true sound more and more. They're still such a fresh group and don't have that many songs at all. Surprisingly, I must admit I favor the sound of Shut Up, as I'd rather listen to that, but at the same time, I think the members fit the energy of Butterfly Doors more, so it would make more sense to continue going in that direction rather than the overly cutesy vibe Shut Up had visually and within that sound. I'd give Butterfly Doors an 8.5 out of 10. Latency by LATENCY. LATENCY is a girl band group that debuted in January earlier this year. Now, I didn't hear about them then, so this was my first introduction into their music. It immediately stood out to me that Yeojin from LUNA and Lusemble was on the drums, as well as the main singer being Jiwon, who I recognize from the now disbanded group Signature. Unfortunately, I saw it coming that they wouldn't last. Another thing to mention is that she now goes by Z-Zone as a stage name, so that'll take some time to get used to. As well as two other members of LATENCY being ex-Signature members, such as Semi and Haun. And the fifth member of LATENCY is a YouTube guitarist without any prior idol experience. I love how close in age I am to the members. Their birth years range from 1998 to 2002, which is so refreshing in this current era of K-pop. Now, on to the music. I recently got randomly recommended one of their performances, and the song really stuck with me. I like the rock influences within it, but that the sound retains this soft nature without being too heavy. I adore how the members actually sing live and sound amazing while doing so. I also read that they all do know how to play their instruments, but that Korean music stages are not optimized to accommodate their instruments being plugged in. Everything's kind of fast-paced. So it's really only concert venues that would allow them to be heard actually playing their instruments of choice. Just something interesting to note, as it's a fault of how Korean music shows are set up, not the band itself choosing to not play with their instruments plugged in. This song has gotten stuck in my head and it's very fun to sing. Therefore, I'm going to give it a 9.7 out of 10. This is a very solid song and now I'm intrigued to listen to more of this band's songs. Swim by BTS. I already made a whole video giving my opinions on every song on BTS's latest album, AtHeart, but I figured I'd quickly mention Swim here. I wasn't expecting to see Lily Reinhardt in the music video. It's very easy to focus on her beauty rather than the actual song. I will say I really like the setting of the music video. Truly, like them being sailors and working on a boat. I find it unique. Is this the best song ever? No, but it's not horrible. I do like the song and the calm energy it evokes. However, I will say it doesn't come off to me as a single for the album. Rather, Swim seems like a fantastic opener for an album, but not something to be promoted. I was also surprised that there was no Korean in the track, as I remember back in the late 2010s or the early 2020s, Namjoon was adamant that they are Korean artists and don't plan to make an album entirely in English, even when people kept asking them when's the English album coming. So maybe this thought process has changed a bit and doing mostly English tracks for singles will be the new norm for them, as it has been for a lot of groups that gain tremendous popularity here in the West. Swim is alright, but it's just not the best option off of their album for a single. I think Body to Body or Fi would have been a better representation of the album's sound to be promoted. But I'll give this a 7 out of 10. It's just not the best for a single, but I do really like the music video and it was definitely different, you know? I do like when K-pop music videos give us something different. TIC TAC by NMixx featuring Pablo Vittar. This song already came out in late February, but I found it rather peculiar that the music video for it wasn't released until nearly a full month later. I don't get why that decision was made by the company. I will say, the song is not horrible, and I do really like how the girls look with the styling. But I will say, I don't know where NMixx is going with this. Perhaps they're doing something different than most of K-pop, and want to focus on the Brazilian market and the overall Latino music market, more so than the Western market like Blackpink and BTS and even Twice have, for example. There are several NMixx songs I absolutely love, such as Oh Oh, Dice, Party O'Clock, Roller Coaster, and Know About Me. But overall, I just haven't meshed well with NMixx's musical direction. Pablo Vittar sounds the best out of everyone on this song, but it seems like they are going a very unique route in K-pop and want to appeal to the Latino market. It seems to be a successful route to them. The members look happy, and the vibe of the song does fit them. The song just isn't particularly for me. I do like it in general and find it easy to dance to, but it also gets old easily and it's too repetitive with multiple listens. So I'm gonna have to give it a 7.3 out of 10. Ice Cream by YUNA. This is YUNA from ITZY's solo debut. I'll be honest, I did not expect to like this much with how let down I was with Yeoji's solo debut song, Air, released last year. YUNA really surprised me with this one. Ice Cream is so cute and catchy. It's not over the top, it's not boring, it's just right. I really had pinned Yeoji as the best soloist within ITZY, and I will say I still see her as the member with the best stage presence. In their earlier years, I would have said Yeojin, but she seems to have lacked energy as the years have went on. Anyways, back to YUNA. This was a great song for her and a perfect vibe. I really look forward to hearing more from her. I think her voice shines so much more as a soloist compared to the lines she gets in ITZY's music, since their sound overall tends to involve loud music and therefore loud singing, particularly from Yeji, Leah, and Chaeryeong. I find myself singing along to Ice Cream, and it's just so cute and perfect. It's one of the best releases this month, in my opinion. Ice Cream gets 9.8 out of 10. Biggest Fan by IRENE. I'll admit, I never got around to listening to her debut song as I just wasn't interested. So this is my first time hearing her work as a soloist. I listened to a highlight medley from her first full-length album, and to be honest, it seems like there will be much better songs on it than this. Biggest Fan is alright. I like the music video, and the chorus is catchy, but the whole song isn't really for me. I don't really want to replay it. I do like her vocal tone a lot, since it's so prevalent in the background of Red Velvet's discography. I'm considering reviewing the entire album, Biggest Fan, but I might need to format it a bit differently. I don't know if y'all are interested in IRENE as a soloist enough for me to review it, but let me know. Either way, I'm gonna end up listening to the album sometime soon. Biggest Fan gets an 8.3 out of 10. KILLA, Face the Other Me by Kep1er. I lived for their release of Bubblegum last year, so I was hoping to like this, but it's not for me. I do love how they're styled, and I've been into Kep1er since Planet 999, the survival show they reformed on. That's what I was doing during COVID, living back at home, smoking a ton, and watching Girls Planet 999. I know a lot of people trash on Kep1er, but they really do have some good music. It's just hit or miss. I don't like the chorus of KILLA. It seems like something EVERGLOW would have released a decade ago, which is not necessarily bad, but it's just a tired sound that's been overused and it's slightly dated. I only found out about this release last minute, so I haven't gotten to listen to their EP, Crack Code. Sometimes B-sides are better than the main single. KILLA didn't do much for me though. 6.5 out of 10. I still like Kep1er, even though this really fell flat for me. Now let's rank everything together. Starting from worst to best, we have number 12, KILLA, Face the Other Me by Kep1er. 11, Swim by BTS. 10, TIC TAC by NMixx featuring Pablo Vittar. 9, Code by EVERGLOW. 8, Sugar Talk by Yeojin. 7, Biggest Fan by IRENE. 6, Butterfly Doors by AtHeart. 5, To My First Love by High Key. 4, Tweak by Girlset. 3, Latency by LATENCY. 2, Catch Catch by YENA. And number 1, Ice Cream by YUNA. If you made it to the end of the video, leave a 4-leaf clover emoji down below. I will say I really just appreciate y'all, and the fact that I've gotten to 1,000 subscribers at all is really just amazing to me. I remember thinking just a couple months ago, like I was literally stuck at 29 subs, and I was telling my husband, like, I want to quit. I don't think anyone's like interested in my content. Like, it's just not working. And then I did the Blackpink video and my Cat's Eye video, and the Cat's Eye video has really just blown up in a way that I'd never expected. I'm really thankful for that because I didn't know if the video idea would be interesting to other people the way it was for me to make. But yeah, you know, getting to 1,000 subs in basically 7.5 months of being on YouTube is just so amazing, and it makes me feel a sense of pride in my work. Just that I stuck with something even though it has been a little bit difficult on me. I try to respond to y'all in the comments that are into my stuff, and the support you guys give me is so encouraging for me, and it makes me enjoy making these videos because then I get to have some nice interactions with y'all in the comments, and some of y'all are just so sweet and nice, and you really give me hope that it's not just me. Like, there are many K-pop stans left out there that are reasonable and can have civil disagreements and be respectful, and also Just being able to bond with people over shared music taste means the world to me. Music is a very big part of my life, and it always has been, especially since I fell in love with K-pop basically 10 years ago. Yeah, thanks so much again for over 1,000 subs. I have 1,010 subscribers as of making this conclusion audio right now. Thank you so much. Maybe I'm making too much of a big deal out of it, but I thought it would take me until like December to reach that number. So it's so encouraging. I know there are still multiple video requests, and I'm gonna try my best to start getting to them. I did BTS's video solely because it was a video request. I kind of didn't plan to touch that on YouTube, but it seems like it was a good idea. It's not performing the best, but it's certainly performing better than most of my videos. I might have to eventually do a sort of Fantano setup, if y'all know him. I don't really watch his content a lot, but I've always found it interesting to focus on reviewing music. I might have to do it like him eventually and not really have a lot of instrumentals, because I'm trying to not mess up with like the copyright, because this is very like new to me, where now with over 1,000 subs, like the copyright stuff matters a lot more. But yeah, let me know if you're still even listening, let me know, do you guys like the instrumentals? Do they add anything to my videos? Would you still like my music reviews even if I didn't really have instrumentals involved? It seems like most of the instrumentals that I've used I really have no problems with, but there's just like one or two sometimes that'll get flagged, and it kind of causes me some issues, and it's a bit of a bummer when you spend all this time making a video and then it can't even be monetized. Anyways, I'm rambling on because this is a big part of my life now. And as someone who got laid off from my job at Rite Aid last summer in August, that was my first job. I was a late bloomer in the sense of getting a job later in life, as someone who's really struggled with intense social anxiety. And so I was proud of myself for even getting that job. But then the company went totally bankrupt for a second time, and we had to close up shop in August. And even though it was my first job, I was literally like a manager, and I was like counting money, and it was like pretty serious in that sense. So I gained a lot of knowledge and like skills, but the face-to-face, day after day social aspect of even that one retail job really hurt me over time, as someone who I really prefer life as a shut-in, even though a lot of people look down on that kind of lifestyle. So now even just having the option of YouTube as a form of passive income over time, like I'm not really expecting anything crazy, but I'm living off of my savings. So, and of course my husband is helping me, but guys, like this is such a blessing that at this point in life that this is like even an option for me to earn money, because I'm not mentally in the place right now to have a face-to-face job and deal with people in person. And so to all of my supporters, like I know I'm still a very small channel, but thanks so much for watching. Your sweet comments like really mean the world to me. And I have had this goal to do a lot of K-pop content on YouTube, and I know that I post about other stuff too, like my Christian faith and just my digital diaries talking about my mental health, but I've always wanted to mainly do K-pop content, and so for that to actually be what's successful on this channel really means a lot, because I held back for many years out of fear. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with it, even though this can be a bit difficult at times. It's better than physically being around people. Gosh, I'm so sorry for my long ramble, but I don't get many opportunities to speak to y'all, and The 1,000 mark really felt like it was so uphill 2 months ago. And so the fast increase is just amazing. See y'all in my next video. Bye.